it is Gaz Jackson. Now, I just wanted to have a talk to you today quickly about the banning of electric collars, pinch collars, and trying to get rid of check chains and so on around Australia and overseas. Now, this is mostly pushed by the RSPCA and their extremists and their brainwashed public who are all going together with the politicians and then pushing it to ban them from use in Australia. Now, the electric collars, as an example, is a life-saving tool, and if these are banned, there is going to be thousands of dead wildlife, there's going to be thousands of dead farm animals and thousands of dead dogs in the wake. That is what's waiting for you. But to show you the inconvenient truth and how they've been used, I've actually been using them for 33 years. Now, we've worked them on police dogs for doing advanced exercises, whether it be building search, crowd control, and you can actually use them for precision training. They're extremely good and imperative tool to use in law enforcement. But also, I've used them on the cadaver dogs. Now, the first cadaver dogs in Australia, and the electric collar was used on the cadaver dogs. So not only finding the bodies, looking for human remains, but also teaching the dog not to go after any wildlife or farm animals or be distracted. So I was actually able to use that as a refinement tool to ensure that the dog will only actually go for what he's actually trained to do. Now, the other ones that we've trained the dogs on has been the koala detection dogs. Yes, the koala detection dogs. Yes, the dogs that detect koalas. I've used the electric collar on the koala detection dogs for teaching dogs to stay away from other animals and only actually go for the koalas. And also we've used it extensively on the cane toad detection dogs. Now, we've had cane toad detection dogs which are successfully finding cane toads, and all of a sudden it sees a kangaroo for the first time and it just shoots off after the kangaroo. So we're able to use the electric collar, pulse him a couple of times, stop that problem there, and the dog's working beautifully towards locating cane toads. So they're just some of the things that I've actually used the electric collars on, as well as many other things. The red-eared slider turtle detection dogs, which was used by Biosecurity Queensland. You've got a Labrador looking for turtle eggs next to a dam that's filled with ducks and geese and all sorts of things, and we use the pulse on it so the dog can actually search for the turtle eggs and not actually go for any of the wildlife. So they're just some of things which is super important, and these dogs would never actually been trained and finished without the use of electric collars. So they're a very important thing. But it's not just me that uses them. There's a lot of other people that use electric collars, but they don't wish to be named, and I'm not going to name them. Now, if we have a look at the positive dog trainers, now they're great people, wonderful people, and but we also have the positive dog training extremists. Now, they are so anti-electric collars, but over the years I've seen several positive trainers which promote all 100% positive gear, and they actually own electric collars, they own pinch collars, they own check chains, but the public will never know about this because this is done in private. I know this because I've actually shown them how to use them. 100% positive dog trainer, how to use electric collar, just to be able to refine some different areas with the training. Everything's gone great. He doesn't tell anyone he's got an electric collar, but he's got an electric collar that he uses at home, then goes out and does his positive training. But he wants it to be kept quiet. And there's been many cases like this. And this is a great thing because positive dog trainers, a lot of them understand that positive dog training does not work on 100% of the dogs, and you have to use some forms of balance training or some negative training on the dogs to be able to get the good results. So the positive dog trainers will actually come to me for me to be able to train the dog for them because they don't want to give the correction to the dog, but they know the dog needs it, but they don't want to do it. So then they'll bring the dog to me and I'll train the dog in a balanced way, sort out the problems and give it back. So they're basically subcontracting out the balanced training to me so they can still remain a completely, totally, positive only trainer. And it's much the same as those no-kill shelters which promote everywhere that they don't kill any dogs, they get a home for every single dog, and then the ones they can't get a home for, they give back to the RSPCA, and the RSPCA puts them down, they subcontract it out, and that way they keep their no-kill shelter, reputation. So that's pretty good there. But also, speaking about the RSPCA, let's have a look at do the employees and the volunteers of the RSPCA actually all use positive only training on their own dogs? And the answer to that is a resounding no. These are smart, intelligent, loving people, and I mean, these are animal lovers. These are just absolute wonderful, wonderful people. The employees of the RSPCA are absolutely 100%. They are really good. Now, the employees will actually go home and on their own dogs, they might use a check chain, they might use a pinch collar, they might use an electric collar. I know because I've trained several of them on electric collars. They're full-time working for the RSPCA. I've shown them how to use electric collars, and they've worked it with their own dogs. Now, even dogs which are animal aggressive, where they've tried every single method from the RSPCA Positive Dog Training Extremist Bible, and none of it works. And the last option was to get the dog put down because of food aggression. And then I've actually trained the RSPCA full-time employee how to use the electric collar, did a training session with the dog, and we fixed the dog, and the dog's lived happily ever after. So there's a lot of very smart people that will use these life-saving devices, and they're not tied up with all the RSPCA extremist rubbish they've got to deal with, professionally. There's been many other cases where RSPCA handlers have, or full-time employees, work their own dog on a pinch collar. They've got their own working dogs, and they work the dog on a pinch collar because they know if they put it on a harness, that dog's going to drag them down the street. So use properly. All these devices are absolute life-saving tools, and the people that work for the RSPCA don't even listen to the RSPCA extremist views, but they've got to preach it because they work there. So the inconvenience truth is that just about all the positive dog trainers will use correction. A lot of the employees of the RSPCA use check chains and pinch collars and electric collars. So it's pretty inconvenient for everybody, but that is the truth. I'm Gaz Jackson. See you next time.